It's been 4 years since we lost Lil Peep. Honestly, it feels like it was yesterday. These 4 years have gone by so quickly. It's really sad to think what Peep would have became if he was still here today. Obviously, as you can tell, this is a little bit of a different video. Similarly to the video I did with X on the anniversary of his death, I'm going to do the same thing here today with Peep. I'm going to be giving you guys my top 10 favorite Lil Peep songs, with a few honorable mentions of course, but I've been a really big fan of Peep over these past 4 years. I can't lie, before Peep died, I had listened to him, but not nearly as much as I have listened to him after he passed, unfortunately. But after he passed and through these past 4 years, he's been one of my favorite artists. I've really listened to almost all of the songs he's put out, his entire discography, all of his albums, all of his mixtapes, all of his SoundCloud stuff has just really been timeless in my opinion. Stuff that really never ever gets old. So I'm excited to give you guys my top 10 songs of Lil Peep's. Definitely leave your list in the comments below. I'm really interested to see what you guys think. A few of these songs are off of his bigger albums and mixtapes. Others are more low-key on his SoundCloud. Some of his older stuff. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, coming in at number 10, Your Eyes.
Baby, I've been flexing hard on my ex. Baby, I've been leaning hard on this tech. I can see the scars on your neck.
Personally, I feel like this song is a lot different from what Peep usually does. The beat is totally different. I always love listening to the beginning of the song where it's kind of like as if he's in the background. You can't really hear him. And there's almost like a crossfade transition in to the start of the song. The hook's really catchy. Like I said, I love the beat. It's very peaceful, honestly. It's not too aggressive. In my opinion, one of his more underrated songs, more low-key songs. It's a vibe. I really enjoy it, and that's why it comes in at number 10. Coming in at number 9, Gods with Lil Tracy.
I ain't talking religion, baby, but I'm a god. Louis Vuitton's on my feet, but I ain't got no job. I got hoes on me, call me Lil Tracy Minaj. Call Lil Tracy, like we finna get to this guap.
This, again, is another one of Lil Peep's more underrated songs. Obviously, it's with Lil Tracy. I gotta say, the Lil Tracy and Lil Peep duo is one of the hardest duos of all time. Unmatched, especially in the underground. A lot of, again, timeless classic songs were created between the two. Honestly, Peep and Tracy and X and Ski, best duos in the SoundCloud era. That's 100% a fact. You can't convince me otherwise. As for the song, I just love the little intro in the beginning. I think it's like a minute or whatnot, but there's a long intro which creates a little bit of a build-up. Tracy hops on the track first, does his thing, gets the mood, the groundwork set, then Peep comes on, again does his thing, perfect transition off of Tracy, and then just go back and forth, which I think is super fire. One of the songs where they constantly go back and forth. Usually Tracy does a hook, Peep does a hook, whatnot. They have their own separate verses, but this one, they're going back and forth, and I really love that. Alright, coming in at number 8, White Wine.
I had no by my side, she was pretty young white bitch, shot up in Mirage. Took it to the crib in a short hot dye. Then I wake up and I'm still fucking.
Unlike the first two songs, this song is one of Peep's more popular songs. Again, done with Lil Tracy. Again, an unmatched duo. They both went crazy on this song. I see why it's a fan favorite. You should see why it's a fan favorite. This song features one of Peep's best melodies. Same with Lil Tracy. I just love how in most of these songs, how there's kind of like a build up in the beginning and then a drop. Peep in the beginning with his classic hook. This is a classic, never gets old. Again, one of my favorites, which is why this comes in at number 8. Coming in at number 7, Ben's Truck Part 2.
Ooh, big head on them, man.
Baby, call me up, tryna fuck, cause you know I'm finna get the Benz truck. Good luck, motherfucker. I was in the car getting sucked from another bitch, popping out a bean and a double up.
A lot of you may question why I didn't add Ben's Truck Part 1 in this place. Personally, I gotta say I like Ben's Truck to a little bit more. I just really like Peep's delivery on the track. Very, I guess, exciting, energetic, hype, any word to describe, like an uplifting feel to the song. Again, one of his more underrated songs in my opinion. Definitely, I guess, overshadowed by Ben's Truck Part 1, but I think this song is equally as good as Part 1. Ben's Truck Part 2, one of my favorites from Lil Peep. Again, the hook is so catchy, like in many of these songs, so catchy. Again, his delivery is really energetic, really hype. I love this one. Coming in at number 6, Awful Things with, again, Lil Tracy.
Bother me, tell me awful things. You know I love it when you do that. Helps me get through this without you.
This one, yet another one of Peep's classic songs, one of his most popular songs, probably one of the first songs that really got me into Lil Peep. Again, his delivery is insane, super different from what he normally did. Obviously later in the track, Tracy comes on, does his thing as he usually does. The dynamic duo, like I've been talking about throughout this entire video, just so different, so unmatched. The beat in the song is a classic Lil Peep beat, got the guitar, perfectly fits Peep's sound and Tracy's sound for that matter. This song especially one of my favorite collaborations between Peep and Tracy. Coming in at number 5, Drive By with Xavier Wolf. If you followed Peep in his SoundCloud days, you definitely know about this song and the mixtape that this song was off of, Hellboy. Probably, in my opinion, top 2 project with Crybaby. But this song, one of my favorites off of Hellboy. I just love the kind of ominous feel that it gives off. In the beginning, there's a little bit of an intro where I think Peep says, "Pass me the keys" or whatnot, gets in the car, and then this kind of eerie, ominous beat comes on. Peep, with his reverb delivery, has this crazy sound to the song. And then towards the middle, Xavier Wolf does his thing. Probably the first song that I heard featuring Xavier Wolf, and ever since I heard it, fell in love with it. A very hype song, gets me going, exciting, love it. Coming in at number 4, Lil Kennedy.
Some liquid for the centipede, eat away my memory. Feed me to my enemies, lead me to death. I'm Lil Kennedy, I ain't got no remedy. Bury me, pocket full of ketamine, methamphetamine.
I never listened to the California Girls EP when it first dropped, so my first listen to the song was when it dropped, I think in January earlier this year. Ever since I heard it, I fell in love with it. It's, again, a lot different from what Peep usually did. Again, an ominous vibe, very eerie, very kind of monotone delivery. Doesn't really get too energetic or aggressive at all throughout the song. Very peaceful song, definitely a vibe. One of his more underrated songs. A lot different from what a lot of rappers were doing at the time for sure. At number 4, Cobain featuring Lil Tracy.
I just fell in love with a bad bitch. Told me that she loved me too. Baby, I'm not having it. Sipping cocaine, cause I didn't have no activision. Smoking propane with my clique and the bad bitches call me Cobain.
This is undoubtedly one of his more popular songs. Currently it's sitting at 15 million on YouTube, probably even more on streaming platforms, but I think I first listened to this song off of Everybody's Everything album, so don't flame me for that. I know this song was out way before that, but my first time hearing the song was off of the soundtrack to the documentary. Ever since hearing that, it's been on repeat. Obviously, I said it's at number 3, and that's the exact reason. It's been on repeat ever since I first heard it. Never gets old. Another Peep and Tracy classic. Again, Peep does his thing in the beginning. Towards the middle, crazy transition into Tracy's verse. They both go crazy throughout the entire song. Such a good melody, such a good chorus. One of Peep's better songs in my opinion. Coming in at number 2, this one was very hard, but I'm gonna have to go with White Tee.
Young pump bitch, fucking on a drum bitch. Shawty fell in love, now she doing all my drugs. Young bitch in the club like Lil Mama in my eyes. She go on with me tonight, we connect like Wi-Fi.
reason I say this was one of the hardest decisions to make for a top 10 video was the fact that if I would have made this video, say, last year or maybe even the year before, this would have been number one. 100% this would have been number one. I think the first time I heard this song, it's the only song I'll listen to for the rest of the week. I've probably listened to it over 1,000 times. It's personally one of my favorite songs of all time. I just love the way Peep starts it off. Very calming delivery, very calming flow. Then out of nowhere, out of absolutely nowhere, these crazy 808s hit. Lil Tracy hops on the track with, again, a crazy, energetic, aggressive delivery, snaps, and the 808s are what does it for me. You guys know, through my reaction videos, I always talk about the 808s. I always mention and say how much I love these 808s. Well, this song features some of the best 808s you'll ever hear. After Peep's done with his initial chorus verse, 808s come in, Tracy goes crazy, and that's about it. Before we get to number one, like I did in the X Top 10 songs, I'm gonna have to reveal my honorable mentions.
Switchblades, cocaine, got boy click till my soul take. Black jeans, half black hoes, got boy click in the castle. Angel of death, telling me if I'm mad. I got the angel of death, watching over my back. I swear she don't love me, she in love with my ass. I've been up all night while I take a beam. Last night you say you saw me in a vivid dream. Tell me baby, look at me, what is it you see? Tell me baby, is it him or is it me?
And finally, the time has come. Number one, I gotta give it to Castles.
Baby, I'm an asshole, walking through my castle. I can't break your heart, baby, I know it's so fragile.
Similarly to what I did in the X Top 10 songs, I had to throw out something different. I didn't want to follow the norm and picking a obviously popular song. Instead, I picked Castles because every time I listen to the song, it just makes me feel good, honestly. As you can see, number one, my favorite Peep song, definitely my favorite Peep and Tracy collaboration. Similar to White Tea, Peep has this very calm delivery in the beginning, and then these 808s drop, and Tracy snaps throughout the 808s, cuts back to Lil Peep, does his hook, does his delivery. Really good song, really well produced. All of these songs, for that matter, are really well produced. Again, I wouldn't say it's underrated. I feel like it's properly rated. A lot of people might not know this song. Some probably do, obviously, but this song for sure is my number one. Love everything about it. Probably have listened to it thousands of times, like White Tea. But either way, this was my top 10 Lil Peep songs. Be sure to let me know your top 10 list in the comments below. And RIP Lil Peep forever.